The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, a jagged scream of glass slicing through the laughter and clinking glasses of our engagement party. My hand trembled, not from clumsiness, but from the weight of what I'd just seen. A text on Elise's phone, glowing in the dim corner where she'd left it unattended. Can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? The sender's name, Jake, burned into my retinas like a brand. Her ex, the man she swore was ancient history. Around me, the room spun, golden chandeliers casting their warm haze, guests in tailored suits and glittering dresses oblivious to the fracture forming in my chest. I forced a smile as Aunt Clara swooped in, her perfume sharp and floral, fussing over the spilled champagne. "Oh, Daniel, don't worry. Accidents happen." Her voice was too loud, too cheerful, grating against the static roaring in my ears. I mumbled an apology, my eyes darting to Elise across the room. She was radiant, her auburn hair catching the light as she laughed with a cluster of friends, her emerald dress hugging her like a second skin. She hadn't noticed a broken glass, or me staring, my heart a clenched fist. I'd always trusted her. Elise was my anchor, the one who'd pull me back when my insecurities spiraled. But that text, it was a splinter under my skin, impossible to ignore. Maybe it was nothing, a misunderstanding. Jake could have been drunk, nostalgic, reaching out without her encouragement. I wanted to believe that, needed to. Yet, as I watched her tilt her head, her laugh a little too bright, I noticed her phone wasn't in her hand. She left it on the table near the bar, screen dark now, but I could still see that message in my mind, glowing like a warning flare. I moved through the crowd, the buzz of conversation a dull hum against my pounding pulse. The venue, a historic ballroom with velvet drapes and polished wood, felt claustrophobic, the air thick with the scent of roses and whiskey. I reached the bar, where a phone lay abandoned next to a half-empty bottle of Pinot. My fingers hovered over it, guilt prickling my spine. Snooping wasn't me, but doubt was a living thing now, clawing at my insides. I glanced at Elise. She was still engrossed, her hand brushing a friend's arm as she laughed again. I tapped the screen. The lock screen glowed to life, asking for her passcode. I typed 0608, our anniversary. Nothing. My stomach twisted. I tried her birthday. Nothing. Then on a whim, I entered 11/23. Jake's birthday, a date she'd mentioned once, casually years ago. The screen unlocked. My breath caught, sharp and cold, as if I'd swallowed ice. Why would she use his birthday? The text thread with Jake was at the top. I scrolled, my thumb trembling. "Miss you, too," she'd written last night. "It's complicated, but I'll figure it out." My vision blurred. There were more flirtations, late-night exchanges. A photo of her in a dress I didn't recognize, sent 2 weeks ago. Each message was a blade, carving away the life I thought we had. I wanted to scream, to storm across the room and demand answers, but my feet were rooted, my body heavy with dread. "Daniel." Elisa's voice cut through the fog. I flinched, the phone slipping from my hand, clattering onto the bar. She stood a few feet away, her smile faltering as she saw my face. "You okay? You look pale." I opened my mouth, but no words came. The room seemed to tilt, the chatter and music fading into a distant hum. Her eyes flicked to her phone, then back to me, and in that split second I saw it, guilt, fleeting but unmistakable, in the tightening of her jaw. "What's wrong?" she pressed, stepping closer, her voice softer now, laced with something I couldn't name. Fear? Defiance? "Why's your passcode Jake's birthday?" The question slipped out, raw and unsteady, louder than I'd meant. A few heads turned, but I didn't care. Her face froze, her lips parting slightly, as if she'd been caught mid-breath. "What are you talking about?" she said, but her voice cracked, betraying her. She reached for her phone, but I grabbed it first, holding it like evidence. I saw the text, Elise. My voice was low, trembling with a mix of anger and heartbreak. "Last night, 2 weeks ago, all of it." Her eyes widened, then narrowed, a flash of something fierce crossing her face. "You went through my phone?" she hissed, her tone sharp enough to cut. That's low, Daniel. Low. I laughed, bitter and hollow. You're texting your ex behind my back, and I'm the one who's low? The room was a blur now, the partygoers' faces smudging into the background. It was just us, locked in this moment, the air between us crackling with unspoken truths. She crossed her arms, her posture defensive, but her eyes glistened, betraying a flicker of guilt. It's not what you think, she said, her voice softer now, almost pleading. Jake's been going through a rough time. I was just being there for him. Being there for him? I stepped closer, my voice rising despite myself. You told him you miss him. You sent him pictures. You use his birthday as your passcode. Elise, don't lie to me. She flinched, her lips trembling, but she didn't back down. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she whispered, her voice barely audible over the music. It was just familiar, safe. I got scared, Daniel. The engagement. It's so permanent. And her words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. Scared? Of me? Of us? I thought of the ring on her finger, the one I'd spent months saving for, the one she cried over when I proposed. Was it all a lie? My mind raced, replaying every moment. The late nights she'd claim were work, the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her too long. The signs were there, but I'd ignored them, blinded by love, by trust. Scared. I echoed, my voice breaking. You think I'm not scared? I gave you everything. Elise, everything. Tears spilled down her cheeks now, smudging her mascara, but I couldn't tell if they were for me or for herself. I love you, she said, her voice raw. I do, Daniel. I messed up. I don't know how to fix this. The room seemed to close in, the air heavy with the scent of her perfume, the same one she wore when we first met. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the version of her I'd loved for 3 years. But the phone in my hand felt like a grenade, and her words were shrapnel, tearing through me. Then why didn't you stop? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Why didn't you tell me? She opened her mouth, but no answer came. And in that silence, I saw it, the truth she couldn't admit. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a choice, a betrayal she'd nurtured, hidden, and justified. I set her phone down, my hands shaking, and turned away. The party continued around us, oblivious, the music swelling as if nothing had shattered. As I walked toward the exit, the cold night air waiting beyond the glass doors, I heard her call my name, her voice desperate, breaking. But I didn't look back. Not because I didn't love her, I did. God help me, I did. But because I couldn't trust her anymore, and as the door swung shut behind me, the finality of it hit. Sometimes love isn't enough.